Hello, everybody. It's so good to see y'all today. I feel like we're just hanging out and kicking it. And I have been on videos since 10 o'clock this morning. I love Tuesdays because Tuesdays are my days to coach. And I absolutely love to talk to women about real estate investing. So let's chat about it. Let's talk tonight, though, specifically about how you can gain power and prestige with real estate investing. Because, the fact is, most women get into real estate investing because they want to make more money. We all want to make more money because for centuries, the people with the money were running the show. And now, more than ever, is a better time for regular women to become powerful and prestigious with real estate investing. We are in a society full of Instagram models and people that are YouTubers, and they're famous on Facebook because they've got designer bags and European cars and big jewelry, and they've got these very awesome consumer goods. And a lot of the people don't have anything to really back it up. So they look powerful and prestigious, and they look nice in their filters, and they look amazing with their followers. But I have questions. If they lost that platform, is their empire built on quicksand, or is it built down into the bedrock? Does their power come from superficial stuff and maxed out credit cards? Or does it come from an ever-flowing river of wealth that if something happened and they lost their looks or their voice, would it all go away? And I don't want that for any of them. And I talked to Nat Tucker about this last year, and she really brought this special need to my attention, is that celebrities are people, and they read the comments that we leave about them. So I don't want anything bad to happen to them. But I really hope, like Shaquille O'Neal had a mentor. And Shaquille O'Neal is very famous for this story and this situation. That man has a solid empire. And he gives all of that credit to a mentor that he had. In the first year of the NBA, he went through, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. Just blew money left and right. And he was living big, and it was in the 90s, so we didn't have Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, but he was very popular, and he had a talent, and he was making a whole lot of money. But somebody pulled him to the side and said, look, dude, if you don't start buying real assets, this stuff will go up in a puff of smoke. Somebody got a hold of that man and said, you need to buy businesses, because if you get hurt on the court, this money train is gone, and a lot of these people won't be here with you. Somebody pulled him to the side and said, if you don't buy some real estate and you get injured, all of this stuff is gone. Janine says she's heard this story too. I want you to buy Louis Vuitton bags, and I want you to drive a Mercedes, and I want you to have a private jet. But Grant Cardone lived in a trailer for 11 years before he got a penthouse and a private jet and a Rolex. Shaquille O'Neal works like a crazy person even to this day to keep his businesses and his brand and his stuff flowing for generational wealth, generation. In fact, Shaquille O'Neal dated a chick in Maryville. I think he's got a couple houses around Knoxville. I was a fan of his in 1995 when he played for Magic. Like, Shaq and I go way back, girls. Before I knew that he was a businessman, I just thought he was a basketball star. All right. Like, I wore his jersey to school and everything. I love Shaquille O'Neal. He's like my celebrity crush that probably nobody knows about. All right. But we're in a world, Nat Tucker and I were talking about this, but we are living in a world that is promoting flashy, superficial stuff. And it's easy. It is so easy to get sucked into that because you think, I just put out the Lady Landlord Challenge Day 4 video, and it was all about money also. I'm on a money train today. And it was about giving money an assignment and knowing that your money is going to be working for you, and whatever you buy should bring you more money. It shouldn't cost you and then you got to go work to replace that money. You should buy stuff that's going to bring you more money. If somebody gives you $100 grand or $200 grand, what are you going to do with it? Somebody gives you $1 million, what are you going to buy? And what you buy will determine how you live next year and next month and in 5 years. It's going to determine the college your kids go to school at. It might determine the college your grandkids go to school. You got to give money an assignment. If you know that you make $1,000 extra and you know you're going to go buy a purse, you're going to go buy that purse. But if you know that you're going to make $10,000 extra, do you go buy 10 purses? Oh, that's different. If you know that you're going to do 4 wholesale deals in a year and you're going to make $25,000 per deal, that's $100,000. So you've now added $100,000 to your income for the year. What are you going to buy with that $100,000? You're going to buy 100 purses? You're going to buy a Mercedes? How much money are you going to make with those 100 purses? How much money are you going to make with that Mercedes? I have a Mercedes. I have Louis Vuitton bags. Okay, let's be clear. I like European cars. I like French designers. But the bulk of my money isn't going towards that. That's not where I get power and prestige. That's not where you're going to get power and prestige. When you are in a retirement home, those purses and those cars are not going to mean anything to you. Your power and your prestige later is going to come from the income streams you build now. Shaq has been retired for a long time, and that man, I see him on TV every time I turn it on because he's still working, because he's still building. He probably signed some contracts that said he had to, but good for him. A lot of us don't have the athletic talent and ability that man had. Probably still has, just not on a competitive level anymore. But all of us have the ability to get into real estate. And real estate has equaled power and prestige for centuries. Before Louis Vuitton was born, the man, not the company, real estate was power and prestige. Before Shaq was born, before Mercedes started, before cars even started, real estate was power and prestige. There's lots of ways that you can get distracted with power and prestige that's just popular right now, like Bitcoins, like a new designer, like a new car. I would love a Tesla. I don't have one because I keep reinvesting in long-term power and prestige. If somebody gave you $100 grand and like Vanny said, she'd buy another investment house, another investment property, How much do you want that to bring you every month? Maybe if somebody gave you 100 grand or 200 grand, you would use that to pay off some investments that you already have, which means your cash flow would go up every month because you didn't have a mortgage payment going out. Maybe you got a lease option and you could pay off 2 or 3 different sellers with that 200 grand, which means instead of you paying out, let's say 600 per deal, 1800 a month, and bringing in 3,000, so you're making 1,200. But if you paid off those sellers, you'd just bring in 3,000 a month. And if you had those houses free and clear and you had the rent coming in every month, now you could leverage that property and either scale up your portfolio. You could refinance. That's what I did with mine. I paid off a lot of sellers last year because last year, I made $200,000. The very first day that I ever made $200,000. And I'm still celebrating that $200,000 deal. You know why? Because I gave my money an assignment. I didn't get a new Mercedes. I didn't get a private jet. I took a trip to the ice cream shop instead of Hawaii. I made $200,000 in a day. It was the first day I'd ever done that. I'd had other $100,000 days. I'd had lots of $10,000 days, lots of $15,000 days. I'd had a $40,000 day, an $80,000, but I'd never had a $200,000 day. But I knew exactly what I was going to pay off. I knew exactly what I was going to spend that money on, which would give me $100,000 extra equity. So I turned that $200 into $300. I turned that cash flow of $1,200, free and clear mine, into $3,000. And then I turned around and cashed out that equity. Now I'm using that as a private money lender so that I'm making money off interest when I loan that money out. And I'm still making my rent money. Y'all quit selling houses, start paying them off. And then you get twice as much money on the same property. Pay them off. Pay off your primary house and live in it. Don't sell it. Pay it off. Pull a HELOC, home equity line of credit. Get $100,000, $200,000 in a day. Somebody just writes you a check against your property that you're living in, against that house that you've had as a rental for 30 years. And then use that money as a down payment on an apartment complex. Use that money to fix and flip a house. That'll make you an extra $50,000. Use that money to buy a couple duplexes sitting right next to each other. One needs some love and the other one's fully rented, and we'll make the payment on both of them. I'm talking about, I want y'all to have real power and prestige. I love all the fancy stuff. I love jewelry. I do. I love jewelry. It's like a soft spot in my heart. And if I could go spend 100 grand on diamonds today, I would. And diamonds are a good investment. But I'm not going to be able to rent my diamonds. But I could go buy a house and I could rent it. I could go buy an apartment complex and rent it. I could have that money and I could loan that money out and make money on my money. I want y'all going for the long game here. I want you going for real long-term power. Power and prestige that your grandmother would have died for. Power and prestige that women in 1919 couldn't do without a man signing off. You know, Mississippi was the first state that allowed women to buy property without a man signing off on it. I want you to do things and gain power and prestige that is going to set your daughter up to where she won't date people that don't have 20 houses. Would never think of it. I want you to set your son up so that when he starts looking at who he's going to marry, he wants people that already have a portfolio. My face is funny, apparently. Janine says boss. I want you to make boss moves. I want you to make big baller moves. What would Shaq do? He's a smart businessman. And he may not stack up on, a list, but I bet he does stack up on a list of rich athletes. And how many athletes can you name that got a bunch of money and blew a bunch of money and now they're still living in mom's basement, and they had a chance to turn that into something? And you are sitting there going, gosh, if I just had that chance to turn that into something, I would do blank, 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 blank. What would you do? How would you set up yourself with power and prestige in the future? What are you going to do to make an extra 100 grand a year so that you do have an extra 100 grand? And then what are you going to do with it? Tell me about it. What are you willing to do and sacrifice now that's going to bring in an extra 100 grand for the next 200 years? 100 grand a month for the next 200 years. Yeah, why not? Go with it. Freudian slip. What are you going to do for the next 2 years, though, that's going to add 100 grand extra to your family's bottom line? You make 100 grand extra this year, you don't spend it. You make 100 grand extra next year, you don't spend it. Then in 2022, you got $200,000. What are you going to spend it on? How much is it going to make you every single month? What kind of power and prestige are you going to go to sleep with every single night, knowing that you're the boss, knowing that you're in control, knowing that when you walk in a room, people can feel the power and prestige that's coming off of you because they know you're a smart, independent woman. You're a smart, independent woman that don't need no man to tell her how to do these deals, but you like a man to feed you and pet you like a good doggy. I mean, y'all, I love men. All right, I love my husband. I don't need him, but I want him, He's a really good cook, and he pets me and tells me I'm pretty. What else could you want in a man? Cook for me and tell me I'm pretty. Right? I want you to have that power. I want you to have that real prestige, because listen, when you have an extra 20 grand a month coming in on autopilot that you don't have to go to work for, you don't have to stress out over, you just know it's going to roll on in, then it's practically like getting a free Louis Vuitton bag every month because your tenants are paying for it at this point. Right, Janine? I don't need him, but I want him. I wanted him so bad, I married him. I get what I want. Some days I wonder why I wanted it, but other days I love that I want it, right? I mean, I'm a woman. It's fine. Y'all are married. You know what I'm saying. But if you have this money and you have it set up and it comes in automatically by the 5th of every month, you just got to decide what to spend it on. If you make an extra 20 grand a month on automatic because your tenants pay, at the end of the year, 20 times 10 months, that's another 200 grand every single year. How many bags do you want before you're like, let's buy something else. Let's buy a Mercedes. Let's buy a private jet. But you got to get it in order first. Before you can have the passive income to buy purses and cars and jets and jewelry and all that stuff, you got to make sure that you're safe. You got to make sure that you are in the right position. You got to make sure that your bank account is in the right position for you to make boss moves and boss plays and power moves and power plays. And you got to grow through all of those stages. In high school, I didn't take a money management class. I didn't take Real Estate 101. I didn't take Financial Sense and strategy plays and all that. I didn't grow up studying that in school. I grew up studying that from my mom. And I didn't realize it until I was almost in my 30s. Because, I was in my 20s and I was like, y'all, when you were in your 20s and I knew everything. And when I hit 30, I was like, I don't know squat about nothing. And that's okay. I can't wait to hit 40 and be like, wow, I really was a dumbass. I didn't know nothing in my 30s either. You know what I mean? None of us were raised knowing exactly how to become a millionaire. We got to figure it out. But one thing we can do is we can raise millionaires. The things that you're learning, you can teach your kids so that they grow up having real power and real prestige instead of thinking that they need a Gucci belt to have power and prestige in middle school. It's fine if that's what they want. Let them have it. But maybe let them do some things to earn it. And maybe that means making straight A's. Maybe that means doing some community service. Maybe that means mowing yards. I don't know. I don't have any kids. I don't know how you motivate them these days. But I know that I had things I had to do if I wanted to do other things. One of my jobs in high school, I didn't have a job in high school, but one of my jobs in high school was to be in a sport. Well, if I'm going to be there, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be the captain. So I was the captain of the color guard my junior and senior year because I'm an overachiever. But I turned all that into, well, if I'm going to be here and I'm going to figure out how to make money, let's figure out how to make the most money we can. If I'm going to do these real estate deals and I want to do them fast, I want to do them like a millennial and I want to do them like a Scorpio. How are we going to do it faster, bigger, stronger, and better? And not just so that I can have power and prestige, but so I can help y'all get your power back, get your prestige, get that crown that you deserve, that crown of pride that you deserve. You can bedazzle it if you want to, but I want you to have a crown of pride that comes with this power and prestige. I don't want you hanging your head. I can't do this and I don't deserve this and this will never happen to me. No. You stop that self-talk right now. You deserve big power, big prestige, and big pride. You are a daughter of the king. You are a princess until you become a queen. And that's how I want you to hold your head, ladies. You deserve real power and real prestige. Old money. When people talk about old money, in a couple generations, they're going to be talking about you. You may be new money now, but your grandkids are going to be old money kids based on the power and prestige you get now and the way you teach your sons and daughters to carry their power and prestige. And I would really encourage you to look past the fancy vacations and the clothes and the designers and the cars and all of that stuff is good. And I'm not down in that. I have Cartier bracelets and I have a Mercedes and I have all those things. But I've also got 10 companies. I got 15 houses. I got 19 apartments. I keep losing track of how many pieces of land I got. And I grow that every year. And maybe I don't grow it number-wise, but paper-wise I grow it because I pay down on it every year, which brings my cash flow up, which helps me sleep better at night. One day we're all going to turn around and you're going to be like, wow, look at all this I've done. And that's what I want for you, because otherwise you're going to wake up one day and go, wow, look at what all they did. Look at all that power and prestige that they have. I could have done that. Those are your two options, girls. You can either wake up one day and say, that was an awesome ride. I am so glad we did that. And phew, that part's over. Or you can wake up and go, this is all? This is all I got. I'm living in a concrete block room that the government provides because Social Security ran out 40 years ago, and I'm just stuck here. Ain't no power and prestige in that. And I'm sorry, but I'm 34 and I don't plan on getting Social Security. I'm hustling my tail off now to make sure that I don't have to end up in a concrete block room. So my kids don't. That's power and prestige that I can pass on. And that's what I want for you. Get out there and get those deals done. Make that extra $10,000 a month. Make that extra $25,000 on a wholesale deal. Make that extra $100,000 a year. Make that extra $200,000 in 2 or 3 years, 4 or 5 years. I don't care. Start stacking it and stacking it deep so that you get real power and real prestige when you really need it. Whew, that gave me chills. Y'all feel that? Woo! I'm not going to tell you to quit buying designer bags because I got one pegged right now that I want myself. I'm not going to tell you not to get European cars because I got one pegged right now myself. But I got other things that I got to do to get myself in a better situation with my river of money coming in every month, that all I got to do is wake up and check my bank account and be like, oh yeah, everybody paid rent. Thanks. What do you want to do for the rest of the month? I'm not there yet. When I get there, you'll know it. And I want to take all of y'all with me. I want you to be there ahead of me. Like Leslie. Leslie started with me in First Little and Fast. We've had First Little and Fast for 2 years. Leslie was one of the first ladies that joined First Little and Fast when it was brand new 2 years ago. She's got more properties than I have right now. Janine has done more deals than I have right now. Sheila's done more deals this year than I have right now. That's what I want for y'all. Not just that I do deals, I want you to do deals. I want you to turn around in 2 years and be like, holy crap, I can't believe I've got 100 doors. That was awesome. That's what I want for you. That's real power and real prestige. Maybe you buy a purse every time you do a deal. Do it to it, baby. I don't care. But make sure that what you're doing is building real power and real prestige that you can pass on. Make sure when you do a purchase, you make a purchase, that it's actually an investment. It's not an expense, it's an investment. It may be an investment in your health. Your gym membership, that's an investment in your health. Your spa membership, which is the new gym membership, I mean, let's be honest. My spa membership, that's a investment in my mental health as well as my facial skin health. Okay? I make investments into my education. I make investments into my properties. I make investments into my people, my team. Make sure when you buy something that it's an investment. It's not an expense. It's not, oh my gosh, if I spend this money, then I got to work double next month so I get it back. And that way everybody thinks that I'm, glamorous because I got this new thing, but it's actually really freaking stressing me out. Make sure that what you're buying now is going to give you future power and prestige. It's real easy to get caught up in what's going to make you look cool right now. And honest to goodness, you might buy a night or two at a hotel just because you want to get away and unplug. Y'all, that is mental health, and that's just as important. And I would highly encourage that, especially if you can make it to the Ritz in the Half Moon Bay, California area. Totally worth it. One night, totally worth it. You'll feel powerful and prestigious walking in and out of there. Especially when you walk out of there, you're like, holy dog, I am powerful and prestigious. And if I'm not as powerful and prestigious as all these other people, I'm just not there yet. Yet is my favorite word. I haven't done that yet. I haven't made that yet. I haven't bought that yet. I haven't closed that yet. That King and Queen building in Atlanta is mine. I just haven't signed on it yet. Make that money, honey. Hey, Eddie. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Amber. Hey, Wayne. Hey, Jessica. Y'all, get real power and prestige. Make big investments. Make boss moves. Make big plays. Do it to it, baby, and make sure that it's going to pay you back in one way or the other. It may pay you back in money. It may pay you back in peace of mind, which is invaluable. It may pay you back in a huge rate of return. It may pay you back because you're investing in your kid. Do things that are going to pay you back 10 times over. Learn skills, do deals. That's going to build real power and prestige, not Instagram filtered power and prestige. And encourage those people to also get real power and prestige. If they lose their account, a lot of these people are going to be SOL. I don't want that to happen. Nat Tucker taught me that. These people are real people, and don't forget that. Y'all pray for them as well as you're praying for the rest of us. Okay? Y'all get out there and get that power, get that prestige that you deserve. Real power and real prestige comes from real estate investing, and it has for centuries. Before we had coins and bills, we were trading livestock and work and barter and trinkets and all sorts of things for land. They're not making any more. Get as much as you can. In 5 years, you would have wished you would have done more deals now. You wish you would have kept more deals now. So do it to it, baby. Make yourself proud. There's a crown of pride that I want you to carry. All right, girls? I'm here for you. Get that status, but get that real status. And it comes from real estate. All right. I'm out of here. It's time to go to dinner. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Let me know how you're doing on that power and prestige. I'm cheering for you. Bye, y'all.